The Houston Texans have been dominating this offseason, but more than that, they've really been dominating this rebuild that they've been on for the last couple of years. And so, if you're a Houston Texans fan, don't take this for granted. The Texans have turned this thing around in just a couple of years. Obviously, the big moment was CJ Stroud, but there's something that I'm going to show you in this video that's just like even more reason to be excited about the rebuild and what's to come in the future as we head into the draft. If you're new to the channel, we're Detroit Lions fans. So you get an unbiased look into your team on this channel. We cover teams that kind of get overlooked by the national media and that are just kind of like, you know, it's just kind of like ignored. We know what that's like as Lions fans, but we're kind of not ignored anymore. Either the Texans, but still, we were on this before they blew up. So if you watched yesterday or the day before, I said that I was going to make a video about this because I think it's really interesting and really cool. So what you've got here is an article by the Commanders, a Commanders website that talks about 3 critical ways the Commanders must follow the Texans rebuilding blueprint. And so you've got a Texans article, a Detroit Lions podcaster talking about the Texans and their rebuild. And why I find this interesting is because you have another fan base that notices what you did and how you have rebuilt your franchise in just a couple of years. The Commanders in a very similar spot. The Lions in a very similar spot, kind of ahead of the Commanders, right? They're kind of in line with the Texans, kind of making their way into the playoffs. And now it's like, all right, we're really looking to get into the playoffs and really make some noise. The Commanders are trying to get there. But here's what's interesting as you look at it, it's all like, oh yeah, we have done this stuff. So the Commanders must oh wait, let me go back. Hold on. This is not number 1. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. Number 1 is you've got to get your franchise QB. Okay. This is kind of where it starts and ends. We all get that. I won't spend a lot of time here because, like, duh. But the Commanders, with the number 2 overall pick, they're going to have their pick between Drake May or Jaden Daniels. They got to hit it. Like, we all know that. But the Texans hit it with CJ Stroud. Now, with CJ Stroud in the mix, he's clearly a great player. They can take swings in free agency. They can do a lot of different things that, because you've got your quarterback. So that's number 1. And so the Texans have that. They've got a quarterback for the next 10, 15 years. You'll have to manage his contract because that'll be the only challenge. So what? That's a problem you want all day, is a quarterback that you got to pay big money to. That's your own quarterback in the building. A guy like CJ Stroud, grounded, great player. Love it. Commanders must continue their roster turnover. You look at what the Texans did. They said, okay, we're just going to sign dudes and we're going to get rid of guys and we're going to change our team over because we've got the culture set with our coach and our quarterback. So you can go out and say, Danielle Hunter, here's a bunch of money for 2 years. Cool. Jeff Okudah, man, you really haven't landed anywhere and kind of been weird, and I think you'll be all right. Come on over. Dalton Schultz, you're great. Let's come back. Joe Mixon, Stephon Diggs. They just signed Jacob Phillips, who's a linebacker that really hasn't played a whole lot, but could be a really good player. They just keep coming up. I mean, look at this. The Texans are the first team in history to have players who had 10 plus sacks, 1,000 plus rushing yards, and 100 plus receptions. That's a reason to get excited, right? For this Houston Texans team, and other teams are noticing. Go get some players. And I think if you're rebuilding, see the Lions rebuild, the Texans rebuild, you go get high-end players or excuse me, that high ceiling players that are low risk. So that typically means very athletic guys that maybe have had some injury problems. Jeff Okudah for the Texans. You never know. And turn it over and then get a couple high prized free agents, but you hit the quarterback first. Then you're on a rookie deal with a really good quarterback. Then you can take big swings. Boom. The Texans are executing it perfectly. Next one, let's take a look here. Commanders must install the correct culture. This is the last part of the equation. Nick Caserio knows how big of an impact it makes. In 3 years as general manager, the Houston Texans have had 3 different coaches. David Culley, 4-13. Goodbye. Lovie Smith, 3-13-1, and then D'Amico Ryans. Now, D'Amico Ryans had a quarterback, so that makes a difference, right? Like, hello. But David Culley, I mean, come on. Lovie Smith, I mean, can you get more low energy? Just, you know what I'm saying? It's so, let's go. So some fans will complain that the team did not get Ben Johnson, which Lions fan here, Ben Johnson turns out was just never really interested. He just is like, kind of was, but was like, I just don't want to go. So it's fine. That said, from all the talk throughout the offseason for players and coaches, Dan Quinn is well regarded. So if Dan Quinn's the guy, and they can draft a good quarterback, then the Commanders are good, because we've seen that with the Texans. They've got the coach, they've got the quarterback, they've got the culture. Now you take big swings in the offseason. Man, you can take big swings because you've got the quarterback. It all goes back to that. Every team is looking for a quarterback. We went through a list on this channel. There's 8 really good quarterbacks. I mean, 8 like every team would want type quarterbacks. I'm talking like Matthew Stafford. Like anybody would take Matthew Stafford. I'm not saying you're the Chiefs and you replace Mahomes with Stafford. I'm saying if you're sitting there, you don't have a quarterback, every single team would take Matthew Stafford. Every single team would take CJ Stroud. Not everybody would take Trevor Lawrence. So I don't know if Trevor Lawrence would be somebody that you would take. So the Houston Texans,
I like Trevor Lawrence.
every reason to be excited. Hey.
So sorry, man. I don't even know what you're talking about. I saw you recording. I wanted to pop in.
So I was talking about how the Texans they've got reason to be excited. Let me just show you this stat here. You want a stat?
I want a
stat.
Give me the stats.
I don't know how to go back.
I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry to hear that. Hey, we still thinking about going live for the second round?
Yeah.
Let's a little promo right now. Live second round. Right
here we go.
Sports Talk Extra.
Dare you to read that out loud. Oh, geez. Dare you to read this out loud right here. Oh, geez. Hold on.
You just got to show it, and then I'll read it. I'll read it all day. Don't think I won't.
All right. There you go.
It's gone off the handle. All right. What are we looking at here? Per NFL research, the Texans became the first team in history to add players who respectively had 10 plus sacks, Hunter, 1,000 plus receiving yards or rushing yards, Mixon, and 100 plus reception, Diggs, in one off season. And I don't think they had to pay that much for it.
Right. The Hunter, and I was saying that you take big swings right now because you've got the quarterback, you've got the coach, you've got the culture, but you got a quarterback on his rookie deal that is a proven winner. So you can swing and miss. Like, all right, whoops, Hunter isn't as good. It's fine. It's like he's going to get 5 sacks. Okay. Like that's if worst case scenario, or Mixon's losing a little bit, or even Diggs' problem. Well, you got him on a 1-year deal. You can take swings. You've got the quarterback. The rest is just going to take care of itself.
That's right. Oh man, that's awesome. That's unbelievable.
And so this is actually an article from the Commanders on what they're following the Texans rebuild. And I think that's what's crazy is if you're a Texans fan, you're like, we have rebuilt, kind of like the Lions rebuilt.
Yep.
You just like, oh, actually we have rebuilt, because you're just so focused on how do we rebuild? How do we do this? How do we do that? And it's actually happened.
And they did it so fast. That's the thing. When you get the right quarterback, you can do it so fast, and the right coach. That was the miracle to me. Rebuilds are supposed to be 3-year process.
But
it has been a process for them, right? Ever since Deshaun has been gone, which is still such a good move for the Texans. But it was like, okay, where are we going? Where are we going? We're there. See ya. Hello.
Yeah. And so if you're the Texans, you've just got, now you can just go into the draft, find pieces, like
That's
still take swings. They just signed that Jacob Phillips from LSU, who's had injury problems, but so what? It's like that's how you just add those high upside guys, and
That's
if
right.
it works, cool, and if it doesn't, it doesn't.
It doesn't matter because your team's already good.
Yeah, so
Very
it's
cool.
pretty cool. So yeah, make sure you join us live. Second round,
Second
we're
round
going to be live on this channel, checking out the Texans. We also cover the Browns on this channel. We have a lot of fun with teams that just kind of like us, underdogs, like the Lions. So we'll be excited to hang out and watch the second round.
Can't wait, man. Thanks for letting me pop on, even though you didn't know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, too bad it's right at the end, but we'll be talking, and we'll see all of you on the next one.
See ya.
See ya.